Hi guys, let me know if you can see me. I think we are live now. Let me check. I think we are live now. Just let me know if you can see me. Yeah, we are live now. So good to see all of you guys who have joined us. Hi Palak, hi Sonalika, hi Akarshit. Those who guys who are joining us, good to see all of you. And those who are joining us, I would request all of you to please like the stream and share it with whoever is preparing for CAT. This stream is going to be mostly interactive. I want to know your strategy for CAT, how you're preparing, what you're focusing on, and I'll be giving suggestions on what you should and should not be doing. So good to see all those who have joined us, and I hope to see more participation from from all of you. Sorry about that. Yeah, good to see you, Ayush. Hi Siddharth, Divya, good to see all of you guys over here. So basically this would be a kind of a goal setting and a pace setting session about what you should be doing for the next 100 days. We should expect the notification to come out anytime. Mostly I think it will come by the end of July. So it is right around the corner and we should be ready for it. So here I want to actually just make sure that everybody refocuses on the path forward. So from now till the CAT, what exactly we should be doing, what we should be focusing on, I'd be trying to cover all of that in this particular session. So good to see all of you guys who are joining in. Good to see you, Sneha, Ayush, Saksham, Krati, Akarshit, Divya, everybody. Good to see all of you guys. I would request all of you guys to please like the stream because it would encourage us more to have more of these streams. It helps us reach more students and it basically helps motivate us to do more of these streams. So please like the stream, and if any of your friends are preparing for CAT, please share it with them. Hi YMC, hi Rohit, good evening to all of you. So Divya was asking how to improve in Quant. Divya, I'll be covering what to focus on over here and how to actually improve in Quant. But remember, the key thing that you have to remember when it comes to Quant is that you should be good in arithmetic. At the very least, you should be at a 70% accuracy in arithmetic. And after that, you have to practice. That is the fundamental base of a good Quant attempt. Okay. So good to see all of you guys who have joined us. And in the stream, I'll just be like setting the goals or what to do over the next 100 days till CAT. So good to see all of you guys who have joined us, and I know a lot of you guys are very focused, disciplined, and that's why you join every single time we have these streams. But it is also important that whenever you have these kind of streams, it's important to actually reset the goals. Make sure you have focus for the next 100 days. So whatever your specific queries about preparation are, please do put in over here. I want the session to be mostly interactive. I want to answer queries rather than just give a what I think, not instead of just one-way communication. I want to answer as many queries as possible. Okay, so good to see all of you guys who have joined us. To those who have joined us, I would please request all of you to please like the stream. It would help us quite a bit in motivating us to hold more of these streams. Okay, so okay, so YMC is asking mocks mein number nahi aa rahe and DLR mein this. So basically, YMC, you have to not just what is the mock score right now, you should be seeing what areas you can improve on and what is the improvement you can target for the next mock. So keep modest targets. Don't think that okay, from 70 percentile you will suddenly jump to 95 percentile. That will not happen. What you should focus on is that okay, from 70 percentile, okay, you got like a score of say 10 or 15 in Quant. You should try to see in what areas you can improve in. Or I'll tell you what are the areas that you should focus on initially, but essentially just look for improvement from mock to mock. So from now on till actual CAT day, you have like around 15 mocks to take. So from that, you should be focusing on every mock, how much improvement is there. Rather than you hitting 95 percentile or 99 percentile right now, you should be focusing from the previous mock, how much improvement have I showed in score as well as in percentile. Good to see all of you guys who have joined us. Okay, CAT 2020 exam pattern will be same as 2021. Most likely, I feel they haven't announced anything whether it will be a 3-hour exam, 2-hour exam. They haven't told anything as of now. But given the fact that, see, it's very uncertain. Say today they announce that it's a 3-hour exam, there's another wave or something of that sort comes. again they will have to backtrack. So if I were in their position, I would keep things as is, 3 slots with 2 hour and keep it this, because it also reduces the burden on the students. It keeps certainty for the paper setter. You don't have to think of many things, and I feel that there is more incentive for them to not change the pattern now, to keep 3 slots and to keep a 2-hour pattern. I expect them to actually do it because it makes things easier for them as well as the students as well. Okay. Divya, so I answered Divya's question. Okay, how to analyze my mock? Satak, it's a very important question, very good question, and it's a very important thing which many students fail to do as such. See, whenever you are getting your mock score, what you should initially go and do is and see the dashcard section. We give you a lot of feedback on what are your strengths and weaknesses, what were your attempts like, what was your accuracy like. Go and see that. So first thing that I want you to see is on the first page, you will get a list of your strengths, a list of your weaknesses. Now every mock you should be looking very carefully at your weaknesses and trying to convert one of those weaknesses into your strengths. For example, especially in quant, if you see any topic from arithmetic or algebra or geometry over there, see that can I add this to my strengths column? Can I work on, say, profit and loss? Can I work on whatever is in the weakness column? Can I convert it into a strength column? That is the first thing. The second thing that you should be looking at is that how was your attempt? Were you then you go to the second part, where second tab, where you get the mock attempt analysis. So you will see the time, how you spend time, how many like at what question and which question did you spend time in. You would also see a split between hard, easy and medium questions, and you would also see a graph of like your attempt rate and accuracy. So it's actually a 4-quadrant graph, attempt rate and accuracy. So apart from your strengths and weaknesses, if you take a look at this graph, it will tell you which areas of the CAT or if of quant, verbal or this you are actually good at. So if you get an idea that I'm fairly good at VA as compared to RC, you should make sure that you attempt 100% of VA. If you get the idea that you are better at geometry than arithmetic or algebra, you should be attempting 100% of geometry. So basically these all give you an idea of what you should be focusing on in your attempt as such. That is the second thing that you should analyze. The third thing that you should analyze is what went wrong. So what went wrong is you have to then go and see your question selection. Between easy, medium and hard, you have to see, were there any easy questions that I missed? So if there are any easy questions that you are missing, is it because you are afraid of a particular concept, or if you don't know a particular concept, or you basically have a phobia of, say, algebra or something like that. Similarly, just see which hard questions you spend too much time on. That is also something that you should try to avoid. There is also a table which shows the time analysis, which shows per question how much time you had spent. So that is the third thing that you have to look at. Did I spend too much time on a given question? This is something that I do often. A mistake that I do often is that in the first 2-3 questions, I spend a lot of time. Then I get into the zone and I am far more faster than I usually am. So this is also important for you to see that, is it that for the first 4-5 minutes you are not able to get into the zone of solving and you're not able to answer questions quickly, and that's why you are lagging behind in your scores. So all of this analysis you should do. This is basically how you should focus on. And lastly and most importantly, you should go to the solutions page. Take a look, ignore the questions you got right. Take a look at every single question that you got wrong. That is the first and foremost thing. If you got a question wrong, try to solve it again. Do not see the solution. Just first try to solve it again. If you are able to solve it, maybe you were under time pressure and you made a mistake. Maybe you didn't read the question properly. See why you couldn't solve it under that time. Secondly, if you're not able to solve it, see, is it a concept that you don't know? Is it a way of solving that you don't know? So always spend a lot of time on questions that you got wrong. Also spend a lot of time on the questions that you skipped. If you skipped a question and you're not able to solve that question, then take a hard look at that question. Was it an easy or a medium question, or was it a hard question? If it was a hard question, that is fine, because if you have skipped a hard question, you have actually saved on time. So that is fine, but if you have skipped on an easy or a medium question, then that should also play a role in your feedback of your question choice as such. So these are the ways you should be analyzing your mocks. Okay, so good to see all of you guys who have come, and good to see all of you guys who have joined us. I see a lot of people who have joined us, but not many have liked the stream. So please like the stream. It would encourage us to hold more of these streams. So let's get back to the topic at hand. So in this particular stream, I'd actually like to focus on what to do in the last 100 days to CAT. If you have not already joined Crackoo's crash course and you're looking for a methodical way to prepare for CAT, please do check out our 100 days batch. Our 100 days batch starts on Monday. So basically, this Monday it is starting. You will get a day-wise schedule. You will get all the concepts that you have to do. So full concept coverage, and you will also get all the practice that you need, all the mocks that you need. So basically, if you are looking for a one way or a short way of starting your preparation, please do check out the 100 days batch. It starts this Monday. We have put the link to it in the description box, so please do check it out. Now, even if you're not looking to subscribe to a course, please at least go and download the schedule. The schedule is the single most important tool a student can have, because without a schedule, your entire preparation will be scattered. So it is very, very important that you have a fixed schedule, especially when you have a limited amount of time from here till CAT day. You have just a few months left, and because of that, it is extremely important that you do not waste these precious days. These are very, very precious days. You should not be missing out on them. You should not waste them. There will be a lot of festivals in middle. Before you know it, there's like Dasra, there's Diwali, there's Ganeshotsav. Before you know it, CAT is already there. So you have to make sure that you make every single day from today till CAT day count. And the only way you can do it is if you have a fixed schedule. Otherwise, this time will go off without you realizing also. So please make a schedule. If you're looking for a ready-made schedule, please download our 100-day schedule. So that link is also there in the description box. So this schedule will tell you what to do on a day-wise basis. So day 1, what you should be doing. Day 2, what you should be doing. All that information is there in that schedule. You don't need to be a premium subscriber to access that schedule. You can just download it and use that schedule. So before proceeding further, how to actually prepare for CAT, I'll answer a few more questions. Okay, so basically how to improve in VARC in 100 days. Sathak, don't worry about it. See, the focus should be on active reading. See, in 100 days, it's difficult to build a reading habit. So you should not focus on reading novels or anything of that sort. But you should do targeted practice. So targeted practice would be basically reading articles and essays and reading RC passages. These are the only 2 things that you should be reading from now till CAT day. And just practice this. For articles and essays where there are no questions that are involved, you should be doing simple active reading, writing down the main point of each paragraph. And for RC passages, you should solve at least 1 per day. If you are somebody who is subscribed to Daily Target, you get your you directly get your this 1 RC per day. So solve that 1 RC per day, and you should be analyzing what is the type of RC that is, what is your accuracy rate there, were you confused between close options, did you understand the passage completely. So that is basically what you should be doing for every single day. This requires continuous practice. This requires like uninterrupted practice. So this means basically you have to read 100 articles and 100 RC passages. And study room has more than, like, I think 400, 500 RC passages, so you're more than covered. But every single day you should be focusing on doing this as a regular practice as such. Lakshya, very good. Actually, 117 is a fairly good score, Lakshya. Now just try to focus on what you can do from now on, which are the small areas that you can add to your understanding, to your strength, so that you can go to the next higher level. 117 is a good score, but I know that from now on till CAT day you can do better also. Okay. Ma'am, my VARC section is weak, but I'm trying my best. Venkatesh, don't worry about it. See, again, a lot of people get paralyzed by fear, or they become too focused on one section. If your strength is the quant section, you should think of it that you just need to clear the VARC sectional cutoff and then do the best you can in the quant section. Remember, you just need 95 percentile or something like that, 90-95 percentile in the VARC section. Your big push to get you your shortlist will come from the section that you are actually good at. So just focus on practicing, be confident, believe in yourself, and you will crack the VARC section also. a lot of people feel that, okay, if I'm not from a English medium or VRC is not strong, I'll never clear CAT, but that is not the case. Most of you will clear CAT based on the strength of the section you are actually good at. So if you are weak in VRC but good in Quant, if you completely crack Quant, you will get your shortlist. A lot of times people become so focused on the section that they are weak in that they don't actually practice for the section that they are actually strong in, and then they don't crack CAT because they don't crack Quant. So just focus on clearing the cutoff for VRC and focus on completely cracking Quant or DILR, and you should be good with CAT. Okay. So Manish is asking, am I late for CAT 2022? Not at all. The notification that is just coming out is probably the point where most students start. So if you have like 2 lakh people taking CAT, I think that about 30,000 start around March or so. April to June would be another 30,000. Bulk of them start at the time of notification, because that is when people realize, yeah, I have to actually start preparing for CAT. There are some 30,000, 40,000 who don't prepare at all, but that is a different thing. But you would actually be right in the middle of the pack. So don't worry, it's not too late at all to start preparing for CAT. If you're looking for a structured way to prepare for CAT, do check out Kraku's 100-day batch. Okay. SHR says I'm getting 60 to 65 in mocks. What are my chances of getting 95 percentile? See, SHR at 60 to 65 it is very difficult, but your target should not be 60 to 65. Your target should be around 120. So think of it, how can you go from this point to that point? What can you add? What can you improve in? What can you do to actually improve your percentile in each of these sections? Okay, so what is the price of mock test? Sonalika, we have like the 100-day sale coming up, which is at 70% off. I think Suri has just put the link for it in the below your this. So I hope your query is answered. Should I start self-preparation 15 days ago? What should I do? So don't worry, Rohit. Self-preparation is also good as long as you are you have good sources. You have good sources for question and you have good sources of concept videos, etc. You need some amount of concept coverage and you need a lot of practice. This self-preparation is okay, but you should be very focused. You should make sure that you put in the required amount of time every single day, and you should be very clear about the schedule and the sources as such. If that is done, that is it is doable. It is not advisable because a lot of time people lose track of what they have to do. They run out of sources. They run out of mostly questions to actually solve, and solving questions is a huge part of cracking CAT. So with that, I'll actually give you how to actually go about cracking CAT. So essentially, I'll be covering what you have to do now, what you have to do in August, and what you have to do in September, what you have to do in October, and what you have to do in November. Tentatively, we'll assume that CAT will be at the end of November. So I'll be giving you targets for each of these months. Now is basically what you should be doing in the next week as such, or next 2-3 days. And after that, I'll be giving you targets for each of the months. This is basically to, if you're self preparing by yourself, or if you're just starting your preparation, you at least need to have a good understanding of what is important and what needs to be done by what time. So let us get started. The most important thing that you have to do absolutely right now is get a schedule logged in. So even whether you want to follow Kraku's schedule or you want to follow your own schedule as such, make sure that schedule is in writing, it is printed out and it is in front of you. So you should have a study area. This is a must. So this should be a regular place that you sit and study, whether it is your if it's a desk and a chair, that would be the best way to actually study. Whether it is like any place where you know that once I sit here, I'm going to spend 2-3 hours without getting up, without getting distracted, and I'm going to make sure my work is going to be done. So a study area is required, a printout of the schedule is required, and this should be pasted in your study area. And the last thing that you need to do is make sure that what time during the day you're going to actually be studying. So there should be a 2 to 3 hour slot every single day that you should mark off for practicing for CAT. So basically you should tell your parents, your whoever is around you that okay, don't disturb me from say 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single morning, or don't disturb me from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. every single night, because I'm going to be practicing for CAT, I'm going to be studying for CAT, I do not want to be disturbed. If this is a regular part of your schedule, if you have a fixed time of doing things, that is basically how you ensure consistency. And these 3 things are something that you should do immediately, and these things are must do for cracking CAT. So that is what I want you to do for like the must do for now. The individual goals for Quant, Verbal, DILR, I'll give month-wise, but this is absolutely needed because a lot of people don't get this part right, and then they don't get any of the remaining part right also. So unless you have a fixed time schedule, fixed schedule of how you are going to tackle the concepts and a study area, you're going to end up not being consistent. So get these 3 things locked down right now. Also, if you don't know how to get the schedule, download the schedule from Kraku's 100-day batch. Our batch is starting Monday. If you're just starting your preparation, just download the schedule, print it out, put it in front of you. It's absolutely free. You don't have to buy anything to get the schedule as such. Okay, so make sure that these 3 things are done today. Today or tomorrow, get this done. The second thing you have to start is you have to know what you have to focus on, what you have to prioritize. Let's start with like Quant, Verbal, and DILR. What should you focus on in each of these sections and in each of these months? Let us try to figure that out. See, remember, the most important thing in Quant is arithmetic. Arithmetic, if you don't do well in arithmetic, you are not clearing CAT Quant. If you do well in arithmetic, you will do at least moderately okay in Quant. If you don't do arithmetic well, there is just no chance. So you have to do very, very well in arithmetic. Make sure you complete the entire concept coverage in August. Make sure that you complete at least 50 questions, I would say rather 50 to 100 questions from arithmetic in August. You should basically have a very good hold on all the concepts from arithmetic. This should be the first thing that you target. This is the most important thing, and every single month after that you should be doing 50 questions from arithmetic in every single month after that. This will keep on increasing, but at least 50 questions every month in arithmetic after that. Apart from arithmetic, at least do half of geometry in August itself. Along with, as I say, at least 50 questions of geometry. These 2 are basically the bedrock of your attempt. If you don't do this well, you're not clearing Quant. So do arithmetic properly, completely in August, half of geometry in August. In August, what to do with Verbal? Focus on active reading, 1 article a day, and solving 1 RC a day. Do not worry about VA section for now. Do not worry about parajumbles and parasummary for now. Focus on doing very, very well in RC. The reason for that is that parajumbles, parasummary require you to have good comprehension skills. And the way to build that is through RC. If you do well in RC, then everything else will come from that. If you're not good at RC, nothing else can be done. So focus and focus and focus on RC in the first month or so. You should be solving 1 RC per day. You should be reading 1 article and writing down the main point of each paragraph every single day. DILR, what to do? Now DILR, I know that for most students there is a very haphazard way of preparing. They don't know what will come, because what happens is that every DILR section you feel that okay, something new has come, something completely unknown has come. But the fact is that few basic skills keep on getting repeated year after year, slot after slot. The basic skills are of arrangement and table interpretation, table and charts interpretation. So basically, if you are good at arrangements question and table and chart interpretation, you will at least be able to solve 2 sets from DILR. And honestly, 2 out of 4 sets is not a bad total at all. If you are able to solve 2 sets out of DILR, you are better than almost like 80 percentile of the students. You will be by default 80 percentile in DILR. 80 percentile or 90 percentile in DILR if you are able to solve 2 sets completely flawlessly. So that's why you need to do arrangements properly. Arrangements basically forms the basis for Einstein's puzzles. It forms the basis for many of these kind of different types of puzzles, and it essentially sharpens your ability to think logically. It is the most basic form of LR that can come, and it helps you think logically. So it's the important thing that you should start from. If you are good at arrangements, you are assured of at least one set in DILR section. The same with table or charts. At least one table or charts based question will come. If you are able to solve table based DIs, that is either table with missing data, table with cumulative data, table with range based data, there are any things that can come with tables. If you have solved a lot of table based DI sets and know different types of charts, you will be assured at least another DILR set in the section. These are the two most important things that you should do. Directly arrangement will not come, but arrangement is like the base for your Einstein's puzzles and enumeration puzzles. Without arrangements, you will not be able to do those two important things. So arrangement is super important. Get that done and get table and charts done. So this is your target for August. I'll answer some more of your questions. Meanwhile, I'll urge all of you guys who have joined us, please like the stream, because it helps motivate us to actually hold more of these streams. I'll answer some more questions that I see right now. Okay. Shubham is asking, I'm batch 13. I have not taken any mock except the first two free one. How to strategize all mocks from now on? Also marks required for 99.8 percentile in 2 and 3 hour test. So in 2 hours test, I would say, I think I generally target say 120ish. 120 would be around 99.8, I think. But that again depends on the difficulty level. If it's a very simple CAT, then it might be higher. If it's a very difficult CAT, it might be lower. The variance you will not believe between some of the difficult slots in CAT and the easy slots in CAT can be even like 10 marks in for the same 99.8 percentile marks. So it's not the marks that you should target. Just focus that you are at least 95 percentile in each section and going at 99.5 percentile plus in your favorite section. So if you're good at quant, you should be completely acing that section, going to 99.5 percentile in that section and doing at least moderately okay in the other two sections. That is basically how you push your score to the 99.9 percentile plus category. Doing exceptionally well in one section and doing at least okay in the other two sections. Also, you had asked a doubt about mocks. Start taking mocks from now on. I had not written this. Thank you for reminding me. You should be taking at least 2 mocks in August. See, I understand that in spite of me telling many people that you should be taking mocks regularly, many of the students keep their mocks for September, October, November. But at least take 2 mocks by August, because it is extremely important for you to at least know what your strengths and weaknesses are. If you have no idea what your strengths and weaknesses are, how will you focus? So at least take 2 mocks by August, at least take 3 mocks in September, and at least take 3 mocks in October. Then you can focus more, whatever is left, whatever time you have, you can focus on practicing and taking mocks in November as such. But at least this is the bare minimum that you should be doing for each of these months. Okay. Hi Kushagra, I'm working as an analyst counterparty due diligence at this, but I feel it has no use in pre and post. Shall I leave the company and focus on CAT preparation? Kushagra, don't leave your job, because I will tell you that the CAT is the first step. Beyond CAT, you have to also go through personal interview. You have to go through a lot of things to actually land your MBA admission. So don't leave your job for multiple reasons. If you have your job security, it kind of eases the pressure that you have to actually perform on CAT day. A lot of people crumble under pressure on CAT day because you have to hold your nerves for 2 hours, and it's very difficult to do that. If you have a job at the back of your mind, you know that no matter what happens, you can continue to working at your job. Secondly, it improves your chances considerably of converting your PI. It's not that you can't convert your PI without a job, but with a job it becomes much easier because you have something to talk about. Okay, so always make sure, I would always recommend not leaving your job. It puts undue pressure on you on CAT day. It makes you feel that you have left your job, you're sitting at home, you have to absolutely have to crack CAT, and then it actually makes it difficult to crack CAT. So don't leave your job. Daily schedule classes, daily targets taking my whole day. How to make time for study room practice, ma'am? So these then basically focus on every, so you have 1 Sundays when you have mocks, right? So make sure that 1 Sundays you are taking and analyzing mocks, And after that, the other Sunday where you do not have mocks, you focus on doing study room goals. So basically in those kind of weekends, you should be trying to hit 50 questions from each of these sections. We also have gamified a bit, so you have different proficiency level further. So try to actually get to a very high proficiency level in certain parts of the study room. So if you're good at arithmetic, try to get like to a master proficiency level in arithmetic topics. If you're good at geometry, try to get to a very high proficiency level there, because that will give you a confidence that no matter what question comes from the topic, you will be able to solve that. That is basically you can try for weekends for that. Okay. Suggest the schedule for working professionals. Venkatesh, even if you are working, you have to think of it as that every single day you have to give two hours for CAT. Now, where will you get those 2 hours? Think of every single part where you can actually try to get some time back from this. So if you are traveling, if you are there is daily commute, in the daily commute you can try to complete your concept video coverage. During your lunch break or something like that, if you can take a 15 minutes test, that is some way you can actually claw back the time that you have. Every day you just need 2 hours to actually, from now till CAT, to actually crack CAT completely. So just see where in your schedule that you can take, either if you have a continuous 2 hour period, that would be best. But even if you don't have a continuous 2 hour period, see if you can get like half an hour over here, 15 minutes over here, 15 minutes over here, so that you can make the maximum utilization of the time that you have during the day. Okay, so let us take a look at, so I'll answer this, how many hours per day from August. Vedant, 2 hours should be enough as long as you are consistent. If you're not consistent, then it just keeps going higher. Then if you're starting in August, it's 2 hours. Starting in September, it becomes 3 hours. Starting in October, you have to give full day for it. So if you're consistent, 2 hours should be enough. Okay. Okay, so I'll focus on the second part, which is September. So what to do in September? So suppose you have finished arithmetic and half of geometry, finish the remaining half of geometry in this part. And I would suggest, if you are somebody who is not very good at algebra, see the basics of algebra and then focus on modern maths. The reason why I tell that is because if you're not good at maths by default, the higher level questions of algebra are going to be fairly difficult for you. But on the other hand, modern maths is not that difficult for even somebody who has not had a lot of exposure to maths. So basically, depending on what your strengths are, you should choose either algebra basic plus modern maths or complete algebra. If you're good at quant, finish algebra in September itself. Again, 50 questions plus 50 questions, this becomes like 150 questions or 100 questions. Remember that like your practice requirement is going to be like a steep incline. Every single month you have the number of questions that you have to solve keeps on increasing, because essentially you have to make this shift from like watching videos and seeing concepts to actually starting to practice like crazy. So as you go from August to September to October, just add 50 questions to your list. So in August, if you're solving 50 questions from the study, in September you have to solve 100, in October you have to solve 150, in November you have to go crazy about it and solve as many as you can. Okay. So this is for September in quant. Over here, now you should start with your para jumble and para summary and continue with solving RCs. This is fairly simple actually. There are only 3 things to target, but the point is that in those 3 things also make people continue to have extended weakness in RCs, and once that weakness is not actually solved, that is not addressed, then no matter how many months you spend at it, it is not going to improve. So make sure that you spend a lot of time addressing the weaknesses in RC. That forms the basis of your VARC section. So RC is 1 RC a day you should do religiously. Now coming to DILR, now you have to basically branch out. You have to think of puzzles, all Einstein's puzzles, enumeration puzzles, all those kind of puzzles you should start solving. Similarly, games and tournaments. Then you will have other kinds of DILR sets such as caselets, tables, basically different types of tables, different types of charts, special type of charts. Think of essentially just try to go to the higher level of DILR sections. Games and tournaments comes often, enumeration puzzles comes often, Einstein's puzzles come often. So this should be basically you are now going to step level 2 of the DILR sets. You can target easier sets in the August month, but in September month you should be targeting like the harder sets of DILR, like the 6 question sets and all. Okay. In October, here you should be essentially trying to finish whatever is the remaining part of quant. So essentially number systems, PNC, progressions and series, whatever that has been missed till now, you have to try to finish whatever, what are essentially smaller parts of Quant, but they end up, if you start with that part of Quant, you will be doing it for 3 months because the portion is vast, but the weightage for it is low. So finish all of that in October and essentially spend a lot of time solving questions. So here you should be solving like 150 to 200 questions in the month of October. The more you solve, the more confident you will become. This is also where you want to see how much improvement you have done, what is your attempt rate in the mocks. Target, have every mock you should have a target attempt rate, that okay, I have to solve at least 12 questions in Quant section, at least 15 questions in Quant section, at least 18 questions in Quant section. So you should have these kind of targets for each of these mocks. Again, over here, this remains the same. At least if you are weak in RCs, I would say jumping up to 2 RCs per day and continue with the reading habit as such. Solve, if you're not doing 2 RCs per day, you should solve at least para-jumbles or para-summary questions, 5 para-jumbles and para-summary questions. So you should be reading and solving every single day. Generally, when you are freshest is basically early in the morning, you are actually at the best ability to read as such. So try doing that every single morning. So you can have times of the day. Morning, I'll do VARC, I'll read my article, I'll do the active reading, and I'll solve 1 RC in the morning. In the evening, when I have more time, when I can sit down and write things, I'll focus on DILR and Quant. So have these kind of split areas, split focus or like schedule during the day for doing each of these things. Now at DILR, essentially I'm assuming your basic arrangement and puzzles is done. Here you should be looking at special types of arrangements, that is like square arrangements, circular arrangements. You should be looking at special types of LRs like roots and networks, scheduling. These are basically smaller types of LRs and DI that come each time. So 2D and 3D LRs, cubes. All of these are smaller parts of your preparation, but essentially it's important to get these parts also right. Apart from that, focus on charts, focus on DI tables, and you should be getting all of these parts also right. Okay. Now finally coming to the part in November. See, always remember you should be finishing all of your portion by October, and this should be focused, this last part should be focused only on solving and on mock taking. So when you ask, okay, when should I focus on study room? This is the area when you should get into the habit of like just solving, and November is the month to do it. So basically make sure that you're solving every single day, you're solving like hundreds of questions, like 150 to 200 questions from Quant, at least 1 RC per day and 1 DILR per day. This is the part where you should be just focused on solving. If you're not solving in this particular month, you're not going to be in the zone to actually crack CAT. So this is basically the schedule that I would recommend for cracking CAT. I'll take a couple of questions and then we'll end it for today. And it's been good to see a lot of the questions that have come in this particular stream, and I really like that many people are taking their preparation very seriously. So let me take a few questions and then we'll end it for today. Okay, so let's see the questions. Okay, which is better among complete analysis of VARC test or daily article reading? See, basically you should do one actual solving of RC. Just reading will not be enough. You have to actually solve RC every single day. Yeah. MBA CET is about 25 days from now. Could we get any advice of what to do during this time? Shubhankar, focus on the things that are specific to MBA CET. So there are reasoning questions that you don't normally see in CAT. There are grammar and sentence correction questions or whatever which is specific to MBA CET which you don't see in CAT, because you might have had some idea of CAT by now, but you won't have a lot of exposure to those specific questions. Just focus on that. Make sure you attempt all the previous year's questions, previous year's papers on MBA CET, and just focus on the reasoning section as such, because the reasoning section will be very different from what you actually see in CAT. Okay, so I'll take the last question for the day. I've started from this week only, and DashCat mocks are coming one by one. I have not completed the syllabus. Can I attempt it later after my syllabus is done? Yes, you can attempt it later. There is no fixed window for taking DashCat, but I would urge you not to do that. Especially don't leave everything for like September and October, because you will not be able to attempt 15 mocks in September and October and November. You will be able to attempt at the max 10 mocks. If you start in September, you'll be able to attempt 10 mocks. If you start in October, you'll attempt 7 mocks. But you've been given 15 mocks. So what it means is that you'll be wasting all of those mocks. If you take at least 1 mock or 2 mocks in August, what it will do is it at least will give you an idea of what you have to prepare, where you stand, how much like work needs to be done. And it's very important to have those regular checkups, almost checking in at where am I, what is going right, what is going wrong. If you go in blind in September and October especially, and you have no idea what your strengths and weaknesses are, it is going to be a very difficult task to address weaknesses in October. So try to get that perspective now. At least 2 mocks in August are absolutely essential. Okay, so with that, last question from Kushagra, who has put in a lot of this. I'm planning to do an online micro masters from MIT in data science and machine learning. Will it be helpful in interview? Kushagra, it depends. Is this a real interest of yours? Will you be able to speak, like would you be able to hold a conversation in it? So if you just take a course and you don't actually know it in depth, then it won't help you much in interview. But if this is a passion of yours, if you really are deep into it, then it will help in your interview, because it shows that you are interested in it, you have acted on it, and you've done well in it. So depending on which path you take, it will help or not help in the interview process. So with that, we'll be ending for today's stream, and thank you guys, all of those who have joined us, and thank you so much for joining us.